Hi, this is Anthony Salter of ViridianGames.com. I've been asked by Phil Hassey to talk about my game and the technical aspects of it. My first game is called Inaria, and it's a classical CRPG based heavily off of games like Ultima and Questron 2. Here we see the brave Inarian soldiers fighting off an attack by the Slorn. We start a new game, and after an intro screen, we get to choose stats for our character. Every time you upgrade, or every time you level up, you'll get to upgrade these stats and buy special abilities. I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade strength twice. If you can hear the music, which I hope you can, it's by far one of the best parts of the game. This is the little town of Emerald, where people are kind of worried. So we're going to start by coming in here and buying some weapons and armor. And you can see from the tooltips that different weapons and armor require different stat prerequisites. So I'm going to equip what I just bought, and we're going to go into the first dungeon, the Collapsing Cave. Ack! Fortunately, starting with extra strength means that I'm almost indestructible at this point. And if I do get kind of destructibled, I can fix that. It's got line of sight, just like the older CRPGs, top-down CRPGs. Oh crud, I just got poisoned. Stupid poisonous frodes. Alright, I'm down to less than half my hit points. All my stats are up here. And they've all got tooltips. So I'm going to vacate the premises, come up here and talk to the healer, who will heal me. Now, just to show things off, here is the castle after the Slorn attack. This is all that's left. The guards here will also talk to you and tell you what's going on. In fact, as you continue through the game, talking to everybody is an important part of the game. There are dungeons all over the place. In this one, it's actually a series of bridges over lava, so if you have a bow, you can actually shoot across here and kill whatever's up here. It can be very useful. This is called the Deadly Maze of Death. Ack! Oh no! Yes, got her. As the dungeons go up in level, they become more difficult. These are Slorn guards. They have been assigned to watch over the occupied town of Sapphire, and they're not nice people. I'm hoping you can hear this music. I think I've got it rigged up so that you can. Most of the dungeons are story-based, and they don't change. But there is one dungeon here called The Infinite. This is a randomly generated dungeon that is not designed to be fair. It's more of a roguelike kind of dungeon. Coming in here when you're not prepared can get you brutally murdered. Which I think is about to happen to me. Oh god, yes. Oh, man, I made it. Level up. Click on the level up button. I have 2 points. Let's put that into endurance to increase our hit points. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any health potions. Oh, the flesh boar. Oh, that's the end of me. Alright, so that's Inaria. Now I'm going to talk briefly about the code behind Inaria. All of my games right now are being built on a framework that I've written completely by myself. If you look in my SVN, my Subversion repository, I have projects sorted by type. All these framework projects depend on this framework. The framework compiles to a static library, which then is immediately compiled into the project itself using the project dependencies. It's that simple. The framework contains the most basic object, which is called object. This is an interface class, which has the 4 basic things that every single subsystem in the game should do: start up, shut down, update, and draw. And you may notice that the constructor and destructor are empty here. This is because I've learned that it's in your best interest not to do anything in the constructor that can fail. Therefore, calling init after the constructor runs is better than calling init from the constructor. And of course, the destructor is virtual because, of course, this class is designed specifically to be inherited from. For instance, here's my unit class. It's derived from object. It again has functions for the basics, but it's also got an isDead function and a map of configuration elements that can be read out at any time. And the way I use that is we'll come down here and look at NPC. We've now switched to game-specific code. We call init with the config file that we're given, and all of these elements come out of the config file, and I'll actually show you the config file because those are also in here. For instance, the Emerald Healer. These are all of the data points that make up the Emerald Healer. They are loaded into a configuration file and can be read out by the code at any time. I should switch this to XML, and I will eventually, but not right now. Now if we go back to the framework for just a second, the basics of the framework lie in the base subsystems. And the base subsystems are the resource manager, the memory manager, display, input, sound, the state machine, the client, and the server. And of course these are for multiplayer. Every update, we update all of our subroutines, and we draw all of our subroutines. A lot of subroutines don't need to be drawn, so we don't have to draw them all. But that's the basic loop of the game. When I'm actually creating a game, I create a group of what are called states, and I use the state machine to handle them. And I've got a whole bunch of them here. The title state is what you saw when it first started up. This is where we created all of those units that fought the fight at the beginning of the game. This also contains the menu for the title screen of the game. We also have the ability to do things called pop-up states. For instance, level up state is a pop-up state that will pop up on top of whatever other state you're in whenever you level up, and give you the chance to spend your skill points and make yourself more powerful. Right now everything's 2D and sprite based. I have written 3D games in the past, but my current framework doesn't support 3D other than the fact that everything's being drawn by OpenGL. Actual loading and drawing of meshes is not supported at this time. And I think that's basically it. A game under my framework consists of a list of states that link to each other, usually funneling down into main state, which handles main state is by far the biggest and handles the basic gameplay of the game. And we also have game objects, in this case items, NPCs, and the player. And those are all the game objects that we have. If we go back into the game for a second, oops, wrong button. This is the editor for the game. As you can see, I can scroll around, alter the terrain any way I wish, drop new items and NPCs onto the map, save it all, and when I come back my changes will be recognized. Of course, this is the mini-map that lets me pan over everything. Creating the editor inside the actual game was a really big win because it can use all of the same structures, like the map structure, the item structure, and the NPC structures that the game uses. And it also means that anybody who finds it can start playing around with it, although they should probably back up their regular game files first. Oops. Oh dear. Ah well. That's Inaria. I hope it's interesting to you. I hope you liked this talk about how I developed it. See you guys next time.